What is up, my Lorcana Goons? Welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. Happy Friday. You are watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch. We do these every Monday and Friday. On Mondays, we do the short version. Fridays, I am joined with my co-host, Zach Stone. How are you doing today, Zach? It is Shimmering Skies launch day. Set 5 launches today. D23 starts today. There's so much happening.
Yeah, there's a lot that I've been, very busy this morning and afternoon. So I'm excited, honestly. And dude, super awesome and proud of you for being able to do the Ravensburger Gateway event at the Anaheim Packing District.
Yeah, dude. So the Gateway product also releases this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Because it was D23. I had the honor of teaching people how to play Lorcana at the Anaheim Packing District. It was actually really cool. Shout out Matt Okamoto. Shout out Rochelle. All the lovely people that I met for that. Honestly, truly a blessing. Look at us playing the game of Lorcana. We got this is a team we worked with. We had the Katie from Lore Keepers In. We had Matt Okamoto. We had Lorcana Duo from Instagram peeps, if you're familiar with them. And yeah, man, there was a Lorcana dog there too. Pretty awesome, pretty awesome. And it was teaching people how to play the Lorcana with the new Gateway set. So people think that Gateway. Some people think Gateway is like a new way to play Lorcana. It's the same game, but basically it comes with like 60 card decks, but they're split up into different packs, like phases, basically. So you learn with 30 card decks first, and these initial decks have like mostly characters and like one action each, which is hilarious. I even gave notes to the people that were the game people that were working there, and I was like, yeah, I think the purple yellow deck is a lot stronger than the red blue deck, just because the purple yellow deck had rabbits and maleficents and stuff. But it was pretty cool to see people like learn the game of Lorcana and pick it up, and whatnot. And as you can see here, we're all playing the matchup here, enjoying ourselves, and we're even playing without sleeves. They was just right out the box, ready to go, which is pretty cool. But I do think you need sleeves if you are going to be playing Lorcana. So if you do want to pick up some sleeves, I do recommend Pristine Protection. We even have a little sponsor logo on the top corner because they're sponsoring Lorcana Goons now. So if you want to check on their website, you can pick up a pack of, what is this, 100 pack of sleeves on their website and get 10% off by using the code Goons10 on your orders, and that supports the channel as well. So if you guys need sleeves for your DLCs, for your at-home games, consider Pristine Protection. I use these to finish in top 16 of my DLC when I got that Rapunzel mat. Even the winner Josh Polt used Pristine Protection in that tournament. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, once again, Zach, thanks for pointing that out. I didn't even realize that the Lorcana accounts retweeted it. So I made a post on Twitter, and the official Lorcana account retweeted it, and I was like, I was looking for D23 info, and I was like, whoa, that's my post. So again, that was really cool. Shout out to everybody that I saw there. D23 is this weekend. It is the ultimate Disney fan event, is what it's called. And it's going to be in Anaheim, and that's kind of the reason why I was asked to help out too, because I was just local. It's kind of like a right place, right time kind of thing. But yeah, there's going to be a bunch of Disney fans, and as you guys know, Ravensburger is going to be there. They're going to be having these for sale. This is the D23 collection set. You could also get this at certain Disney stores, like the Disney Pin Traders in California. I believe the Disney store in Times Square, also in Paris. But 2 years ago, if you didn't know, D23 was the place where Lorcana was officially announced and launched, and they gave away 6 cards 2 years ago, and apparently nobody cared. Nobody wanted them. They were, they had a hard time giving out the pack of 6 cards, selling them even. And they were giving out promo BLT Mickeys. And if you look at those prices now, the D23 set is worth like the most recent one I think sold for around more than $10,000 for that set of 6, right? And the BLT Mickeys still sell for around anywhere from like $8,000 to $1,000 for the promo cards. But they're gonna have this at D23, and they're gonna have it at all those stores, which is gonna be cool. And Zach, do we let the people know where we're gonna be tomorrow and why we are recording this on Thursday night instead of Friday morning?
Well, guys, that's it. The Goons will be at D23. Kevin and I are going to be there Friday. By the time this goes up, I may not be around because on the weekends, I'll be at the Frankenstein's Collectible Show. So after you guys get your goodies, come on by and say hi if you're just visiting the area for the event. Yes, but look out for Kevin. He'll be there all 3 days. And honestly, it's going to be an interesting experience. I know there's a lot of people that are lined up super early, and so we're basically going to be there at around 4 a.m. and man, that's why I'm had to do so much this morning. So this market watch is going to be done on the Thursday, So as you guys are watching this, the prices of the Shimmering Skies are going to be live. We're looking at right now people lined up outside of Oxford, London. And, you know,
Yep.
I could expect the same when we get there, honestly, Kevin. What do you
Yeah, dude.
think?
Yeah, so all the stores that are gonna have that collection, it's on it's on the website, the Lorcana website. I'll leave a link in the description. All those stores are gonna have lines. There's people lined up just already, just a couple hours, a whole day before. Because that D23 collection set is gonna be super duper hyped, and I would wait at least till past the weekend if you want to consider buying one on the secondary market. But they are gonna be really hard to find, dude. They're gonna be really hard to find. We have plenty of people, and if you're going to D23. If you're going to D23, check this out. You are going to get an exclusive Mickey Mouse foil promo card that you can only get at the D23 convention in Anaheim, California. Zach, I am super excited for this, dude. And not even just because of the whole secondary market value thing, but because I feel like I missed out on D23 2 years ago when I had friends telling me, hey, let's go to this Disney convention so we can pick up this Disney card game. And I thought, no way, that's going to be not cool. There's no way Disney's making a card game like the card games that I like. You know what I mean? And who would have known? Who would have known that 2 years later I'd be obsessed, with this game? So I'm super excited, dude. We're getting a D23 foil Mickey, man. Oh my gosh, how do you feel?
I feel the Disney magic already. I mean, that's the that is the Wayward Sorcerer, and I'll let the fans know that I recently went to Disneyland since the first time since I was 5 years old. So I'll let you guys consider how long that may be, but that is that is the same guy I saw cast the magic to defeat the villains in the Phantasmic show, and that was honestly really cool. I love that. So it just looks like how I saw over there at Disneyland.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited for that D23 magic. I've heard horror stories. I've heard great stories. I can't wait for the experience. And if you guys are not going to be participating in that specific D23 lineup and sales, be sure to check out your local game stores for Shimmering Skies. Set 5 drops tomorrow. The official pre-release at the local game stores is going to start tomorrow this weekend. So a lot of stores are going to be having sealed events, starter deck tournaments, box tournaments. I'm super excited to just change up the meta finally, and you can find boxes online too for around $120 on TCG Player. But if you buy them online, full sealed boxes, they do not get shipped until 2 weeks from now, so be aware. I think it's because the big box retail release date is not until August 23rd, which is unfortunate. So you are gonna have to try and get them on through a local game store if you want them, a little early, or in person, But yeah, man, or just go to your local game stores, look for the trades, look for the cards. But these are the prices as of Thursday night, and from Thursday night to Friday morning, you're gonna see just drastic changes. You're gonna see volatility for sure in these single prices, unless you have an urgent tournament in the 2 weeks from now where you need these cards. I probably wouldn't just buy them online, or unless you just don't care, obviously, right? Some of them that are really high, but there are some cards that are super cheap where I'm like, wow, I can't believe that card is that cheap already upon release date. So we're gonna go over some of these, starting off with Mufasa, ruler of Pride Rock from Shimmering Sky's lowest verified right now. You can get it for $24.41. There are 65 listings, plenty to go around, and a bunch of sales happening already the day before release. Zach, this card I think is going to be very relevant in the meta. However, I don't know if it's going to warrant this $20-some price. You know what I mean?
It's hard to say with this character because it's something that I guess it goes unchecked. The game is going to feel like it's impossible to win. However, the amount of times that I've seen games end before turn 6, 7, 8, again, it has me feeling a little unsure about this card. So yeah, the $24 price tag does seem a little bit high. I don't expect this card to be more than about 15, 20. Pull rates were a little interesting. I did get to open 3 cases of the set and only pulling 3 normals within those cases. I did pull 2 foils, however, so I do consider myself lucky there. However, guys, prices are going to be volatile. So those that were watching this today, this is more of a reference point to what prices were just yesterday. So
Yeah, the convenient thing though is that this person does have 9 of them available for you, A plus cards. So if you just want to get all 9 from one, or sorry, all 4 from one person, they're ready to go right there. And it's pretty cool. The finish on these is different, by the way. So all the legendaries are gonna have like a different textured finish, and they look lovely from the pictures that I've seen. I can't wait to see them in person. Zach, I know you've seen them in person. Can you describe it a little bit better than me?
Yeah, they're kind of like a little raised, and they have a glossy, shimmering look to them.
Oh.
So I'm curious to see, because I'll have some actually you can look at tomorrow, Kevin. And
If anything, do you
yeah,
have any with you, or you have them? Or you have them? You don't have them with you. I was like,
no,
bring on like one.
I'll be able to. Yeah, I'm gonna have some stuff available from this, and I'll be looking to make some trades at D23 hopefully. But the raised texture, it will be the Mufasa himself, and also the little beams around him and those little
Those swirlies,
swirls.
those
So
swirlies.
yeah, those are raised, and honestly, the texture, they did a really good job. Honestly, kudos to you guys.
Nice, nice. So we do have Colt Foes for this Mufasa listed at $52. Nat 20 games, GG. So it is pretty steep in my opinion for some of these legendaries. Prince Naveen, lowest verified is only 1982. I don't think that's too bad personally. IRL cards, I can see this kind of settling down at 15 on a bad day, and even going higher on a good day. So low key. So uninkables, by the way. So an 8-drop uninkable. You're less likely to play a four of 8 cost uninkable in your deck. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that warrants that like these high prices. But Naveen, he's only a 4 cost uninkable, and it seems like a very important card in the potential strategies you're using it in. So I could maybe see this kind of sticking around. 15, $20, kind of the way Sisu did. The red Sisu, the big drop. So Prince Naveen, that's an amber card, lets you sing cards from your hand. That is the lowest verified though by IRL cards, 1982, and they're like the cheapest one actually. It's looking like they're doing a bit of a discount because Twin Knights already starts off at 24.89. They have 3 of them for you. So who knows where this is going to be tomorrow. Again, like you said though, by tomorrow these prices are going to be very different. So please be sure to check online when you're doing trades tomorrow, or Friday if you're watching this, right?
Definitely. I do want to kind of mention that on Wednesday, prices were settling around $17, $18. So this card's seen already a little bit of a spike, with pre-sales only being the cards available. So just keep that in mind, that like this is an interesting time. We will see cards go up and down within the next weekend or so.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a lot of
there
them
are
selling for 18. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's already gone higher from that. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's definitely just something I felt like pointing out. There was only 2 pulled within the 3 cases that I opened. No foils, unfortunately.
Mm.
So yeah, Prince Naveed was looking like a little tougher to get, just from my experience though. So I don't have like so much data, and definitely feel like a larger sample size is important. But I'm just sharing my bit of experiences out there. The Merlin Intellectual Visionary, sitting at about $18 so far. We're curious to see what it's like on Friday. So those that are watching, and this is just a reference point to what prices were like the day before. I got mixed feelings about this card. Kevin, how do you feel?
Same. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a bad card at all. I for sure wouldn't buy a foil for almost $70. That's a lot. He's A plus card, $64.99. So I don't think it's gonna be there. And then let's say non-foil, I wouldn't feel comfortable buying it at like this near $20. Just because I do think the card is good, but I think it's gonna take a lot of testing to know what you need to play with this card. Because yeah, you can add any card from your deck, but that's kind of like meta dependent, right? Like what cards do I need in my deck? Yeah, I don't know yet. The meta's not here yet. So it's going to take a while before I think this card does see the competitive play that I think it has the potential for. So because of that, I think it's not going to see that many sales right out the gate from the game. So so some potential. It's a great card. It literally says just add anything from your deck. There's no way that's a bad ability. I do think what it's missing is like obviously better Merlin targets. We got the turtle, but the turtle is just mid, so you really have to make a use for cards like crab, and and then consider using like the colors purple and blue, which aren't necessarily the best colors already, but if you can develop a strategy for this, I think it works. I think it works. Adding a goat for lethal, adding the bounce box you need so you can get to that lethal range just seems pretty crazy. Any quest for 2, he has 7 willpower as a body. It just really does suck though that it's a screaming Medusa target, unfortunately.
I mean, definitely has a lot of capabilities, but it has limited deck design and deck,
Hmm.
as of right now, of course.
Yep.
But we'll see. There are Sapphire Merlins available, and you might just be able to get away with it in a red blue deck, and that sounds nasty. Um, so the Arthur King Victorious, we're seeing that right now. It is about $8. Again, you said screaming Medusa target. This one right here screams it even louder. Steel just can't get away from Medusa. So I'm not a big fan of this card. I unfortunately pulled a good amount, and I think I pulled a couple foil legendaries of it. So I'm
Mm.
just not a fan of the card, but it does seem like it's a very strong mid range card. If that ever becomes more of like um, I would say a better deck to play, but mid range decks don't really seem too strong in the meta that I expect from Shimmering Skies. Cold foils I don't think would be that expensive either. I think you guys can safely wait for this card to go down if you're looking to add it to your collection.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I for sure, I would for sure wait. Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think one of the issues is that there's not like good targets for this card, and just to shift upon. You know what I mean? Because the 3-drop Amethyst Arthur is uninkable, and you definitely don't want to shift on top of that because you'd rather just use that ability to keep gaining the lore, right? And then the Emerald Arthur is just a vanilla, so that's kind of like and I know I gave us a Steel Arthur too in this set, but it's just not enough. It's too combo-y. You need multiple cards to make this card good. Not only because you need the shift target, but because you need just multiple like cards from your like on the field to be able to use the challenger resist plus. I don't know. Yeah, it's a slow card. I do think we could have a mid range kind of meta. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that's not capable, not possible right now. But it just seems more like we're not gonna be like using a card like Arthur. It's 7 cost uninkable. Anna, Diplomatic Queen. This is going to be selling at 14.28, lowest verified by Paul's Gamer Zone. Shout out you guys. So a little bit less than $15 for this legendary non-foil. And the cold foils are going to be sitting at, it's kind of heavy, 48, 32, A+ cards. I don't even think Diablos are that expensive for cold foils. So the cold foil legendaries right now, they're going to be pretty expensive out the gate. At least over the weekend they might kind of shift around or whatever. But the non-foils, these are for sure going to dip too. This is like a 5-cost card basically, and I don't really see this seeing a lot. I don't really think this is going to see too much play, at least maybe like a 1 over 2 of in the deck, but you for sure don't play 4 of this card like you would play 4 of Diablo. Clarabelle's a card that I think I want to play 4 of, probably 3 or 4 of. It's an inkable card, so I'm very inclined to want to play 4 of these, and they're as low as 889 by Twin Knights. I think that's a very good price in my opinion. So I might consider getting these. I want to see what the cold foils are looking at. There's 22 available. Cold foils are only $23, less than 25 bucks for cold foils. We got Nat 20 Games. They have 2 of them for us right there. Rander cards. Shout out you guys. You also have 2 of them for us right there. You guys are really hooking up the community right there with them cold foil deals on Clarabelle. I really like this card. I've been preaching about this card on Twitter. Look at this. Rander cards. They got 5 of them for you. That's awesome. Shout out you guys. And Journey Ends Games has 19 of them for you for $9 a pop. That sounds super nice. You know what I mean? Just throwing that out there. We got Mirabelle listed at a whopping 657, lowest verified by CB Hobbywee, and we can check out the cold foils too. This is going to be the Set Champs promo, so this isn't my favorite card to look at, to be honest. A+ cards has the near mints for 24.85. Paul's Gamer Zone has a light played cold foil for 22. That's actually hilarious. So if you want a little discount on your cold foil Mirabelles, you can get one for a light played already. Zach, not a fan of this card. I don't even like how they put this lore 5 shtick. They could have done it differently, right?
Well, I think that's a little bit better. I don't think they have the room unless they made them smaller. Honestly, I don't know what else they could have done. Maybe a different symbol whenever there is a lore 5, simply just to kind of indicate something. But I do think that this card will see play in some decks. I don't know which decks exactly, but I do see this card seeing play in some decks because honestly, it's not a Medusa target. It dies to Zeus, but Steel might not be able to be playing so many copies of that card right now. And my honest opinion is that this card is just a classic. Everyone loves Encanto.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. And Kanto has a lot in this set and last set, and I appreciate it a lot. Some more cards: Donald Duck, Pie Slinger. This legendary, it's a 5-cost inkable. Not my favorite card. It's gonna be a shift 4/3/6. When you play this character, if you use shift to play him, each opponent loses 2 lore. While an opponent has 10 or more lore, this character gains +6 strength. Why do they make Donald's very unplayable? I had to read his effects. He just doesn't do anything. Like, I'm always excited for Donald abilities, but it never gets the job done. So this is a very cheap legendary already for pre-sales, 349 with a 127 shipping after that. And cold foils are going to be 22.93. These are definitely going to be not this price. Definitely less expensive by tomorrow. And I would even say that some of these non-foil prices go down by tomorrow. Somebody bought, look at this, somebody bought 3 light plates for $2 each. That's awesome. That's a come up right there. Jafar, Tyrannical Hypnotist. Ooh, I like that name. This is kind of cool. This card is going to be selling for as low as $371 with a $1.27 shipping by Card Shop Missouri. Kind of like a Gontu effect, you know, opposing characters with 4 or less cost cannot challenge this card. But it has that Challenger +7, which I think does have some crazy potential. But man, being a 0-cost character in this meta where we have Medusas, Brawl, Sisu running around, like Ruby is just like Ruby is just Steel's worst nightmare. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I do want to kind of say that it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't challenge this card. Just can't challenge in general. So it has that kind of blanket effect, which not too many cards have in the game of Lorcana. However, this is not the card that breaks the game at all. Honestly, it's it's another unfortunate world where Sad Beasts remains the best Steel legendary so far. So
Yeah,
I don't
man.
see this card seeing any play, to be very honest. But it's funny stat lines, 07. Speaking of another 7-cost character, we have the Genie. This isn't a card that I see getting played either. Its effect has a pretty interesting stagnant effect. While this character is exerted, opposing characters can't ready at the start of their turn. So unless you have a way of dealing with it, it's going to be something that is a problem. And however, it's just not going to be in a lot of decks I see going forward in this current meta. So I do love the character Genie, and honestly, the very, very dear and here to my heart, the voice actor of him. So I will probably want to keep a foil version of it just for my own personal collection. But yeah, Kevin, do you see yourself putting this in any Ruby Am deck?
Same thing. For the sake of the late great Robin Williams, I'd like to play one in my deck, but yeah, it's not my favorite card. I feel like it takes a lot to pull off a card like this, and then at the end of the day, like, it loses out to cards like Zeus, cards like Maui. Like, you're committing a lot. You're committing a lot. I don't think this card needed to be a legendary necessarily. They could have made like some of the supers maybe a legendary or something. It's a cool card. There are some neat combos that I've been seeing people come up with though, where you can use the legendary Emerald Hades. You play the 2-drop Emerald Genie, and then you're able to exert your Hades, send your 2-drop Genie to the discard pile, and it lets you play this card from your hand for free, already exerted, I believe. So it comes in with that ability where your opponent won't be able to ready their characters. But again, you can do those plays and only to get turned on by a Maui, which is just kind of unfortunate, or a Hercules, stuff like that, which is very relevant. Very, very relevant in this meta. And again, it's a 7-drop uninkable. So like, when it comes to uninkable cards, I have to ask myself, do I really want to get caught with this card in my hand, just stuck in my hand until turn 7, when people are playing like Daisy Ducks and whatnot? There's another uninkable card, Robin Hood Sharpshooter. A lot of people have high hopes for this card. Not my favorite personally either in terms of metagame play, but for like sealed and stuff, like, dude, this probably creates some wacky game states. So I do like the concept of this card a lot. It's going to be selling for as low as $7.50 for this legendary. That's pretty cheap in my opinion. Abysmal Plane, but I do think it might come down to even as low as $5. Cold foils are going to be kind of expensive like all the other ones, more than $20 today. A+ cards, 2101 for Robin Hood Sharpshooter. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal an action card with cost 6 or less and play it for free. Then you put the rest of the cards into the discard pile. So there's some like neat, interesting mechanics there. You'll have like fuel for like maybe an Amber Hades, or if you play the new Revive card, you have some extra targets in there. But oh man, I said it before, I've missed off Ariel so many times, playing decks where I play more than 20 songs, and just because of that, I don't think I'd want to play a card like this.
Yeah, there's not too many 6 cost actions, so
Or
you're
less.
not really getting. Yeah, well, don't know. I'm saying specifically 6, so they're not getting like the most amount of value in that terms because I don't see many people playing a Pirate's Life. However, there could be some deck building with red green. I know there's a lot of Robin Hood support there. Emerald has a lot of actions, so there is some chances I would say that this card does see some interesting lines, but
That is
I'm kind
true.
of on your side too. I'm
That
on your side though, too, Kevin. There's
yeah.
not too many things outside of that.
No, yeah, and it's never to say to not get to cooking, my goons. You know, if you have a strategy you believe in, if you're seeing the lines that we're not seeing, please, cook it up. Please let us know how you do at locals, because I want to try the hidden meta goo also. You know, I might be sleeping on Robin Hood, like you just said. I forgot we're getting Emerald Robin Hood support, more Robin Hood support actually. So maybe there's just a strategy where your only uninkables are like this Robin Hood and some other actions like Dragonfire. I don't know. I like Lorcana because I do feel like you can still have that surprise factor. You can do stuff like that. But let's go on into our next card. We got Camilo Madrigal. This is another legendary from Shimmering Skies. Look at this price, selling for as low as $3.58 with $1.27 shipping. Shout out CB Hobby Y. Is that Wisconsin maybe? Camilo is an interesting card. It's a 6-cost inkable card, so I like that he's inkable. It's a 3/7 body, kind of whatever. The 7 willpower is nice, but the 3 strength not very nice. Whenever this character quests, you may gain lore equal to the lore of chosen other character of yours. Return that character to your hand. So it's another bounce target character, which is okay, but I don't know if we need another bounce target character, right?
I don't think we need another one that dies to Medusa.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially just being a card that takes so long to develop. I mean, it's something that you can play, right, and be able to get a couple of on the play trigger effects to happen twice, because you can play a character, quest, bounce it, play it again. So maybe some Amethyst Emerald tricks to go there. But it's just not a card that I expect to see a lot of play in the beginning. This might take some time to start to develop into the meta. Might need some more cards to be released. Who knows? Maybe there's a card that makes all the Madrigals like cheaper to play, and then you can start spamming your Madrigals a lot quicker and play the game that way. But right now, it's fair to say that this card won't see a dramatic increase. So it's a good penny stonk option in that term. You can pick up a bunch of copies on the low, put them away, and you see a double or triple in price. You could just make some quick money. So you never know in this kind of TCG world.
Yeah, some of these cards could just be really good. We have seen how it has the Madrigal subtext, and you can add Madrigal to the top of your deck with the Grandma, and there could be some future extra support for that. So, you never know. We just never know. We got Cusco Selfish Emperor. This is a super rare card from the Shimmering Sky set. Sapphire now has the ability to just remove locations and items by putting them face down into the Inkle Exerted with this card. It's going to be selling for as low as $2.99 with $1.27 shipping. Seems like a reasonable price. It'll probably stick around this, maybe a little bit less, like $1.50 to $2 with that extra shipping cost. I don't think you need to play 4 in any meta of this card. And it has that little extra fun ability where you can pay 4 extra ink and your other characters gain resist +1 until the start of your next turn. And that's not a once per turn ability. So if you're playing Sapphire and you have 12 ink, you can pay all that 12 ink and give your characters resist +3 if you wanted to that turn. So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting card, man. Like, maybe you do play 4 of these because you want to have these against in the Sapphire Steel mirror match or something. I definitely like this card. Another Sapphire card I heavily enjoyed, Chicha, Dedicated Mother. This is going to be a promo card as well for your League Nights, which is cool. The non-foils are really cheap. They're only 85 cents with $1.27 shipping. Yeah, these prices, now we're getting to the rares and the supers, and these are looking a lot more like what they're going to look like tomorrow, which is cool to see. I am curious about these cold foils, though. Cold foils for Chichas are $3. Let's see cold foil Cuscos. Cold foil Cuscos are going to be as low as $8.90, a little too high for my blood in my opinion. What do you think of this card, Zach? Grumpy Skeptical Knight. This one's selling for almost $5 for the super on a pre-order. It's going to be a card that says when one of your Knight characters is at a location, that character gains resist +2. During your turn, this character gains evasive, so you have more Diablo outs here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if this card is that, playable. It's that the knight seemed to be something that was a little more recently introduced. Is there other knight characters from previous sets, or am I mistaken?
I think there might be. I would hope that a piglet, one of the piglets is a knight. I think the legendary piglet is a knight, if I'm not mistaken, right? I hope so. He looked like a knight. He better be a knight.
No, I mean, to be honest, it's only important to know if that makes any changes for our viewers. So if you guys are aware of the other knight characters that are around, please consider my thoughts irrelevant. just this isn't necessarily a card that I'm a huge fan of. Even the ability to gain evasive just is a little too expensive, and we've seen some cheaper evasive characters. So that's just my 2 cents.
Daisy Duck, Donald's mate. I feel like everybody's hyped on the hyper aggro, understandably so. Lowest verified is going to be A+ cards, $9.80. $10 super on pre-sale day. We're only a couple hours for these sales to go live on the East Coast, so we'll see where this ends up. But I do think this is going to stick around this like $5 to $10 mark for sure during the hype. You know what I mean? And then we'll see how the deck performs. We'll see how the deck performs in like local tournament data, and I think that'll dictate where it ends up. But I can see it sticking around like Flynn Rider, $5, $6, not bad at all. $10, I'm not entirely sure though, but there was a point in time where Flynn Rider was that expensive too. How's that?
I mean, that's definitely something to think about. But my honest take on this, Kevin, is like, I think honestly this card becomes almost an auto include in every Amber deck. I hate to really say that, but that seems to be what makes sense right now. It's like, you're trying to kind of combat this, and Amber Steel was playing characters like Golden Heart, for example, which have the same stat lines but a pretty significant drawback. This one isn't as significant, and honestly, like it's going to make its way in Mufasa decks. It's going to make its way. Obviously, we have the hyper aggro decks, but we don't know the potentials with this character. And in my honest opinion, I'm pretty sure that this card goes up. I wouldn't say it's going to be more than like where like a Whole New World and Tinkerbell's kind of gone, but I see this card hitting at least a $13 price point. And I'm not too sure if it, like $50 for a playset sounds fair. So that's why $13 is about where I think it settles personally.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, well, I'm curious to see where it's going to be tomorrow. But again, like the prices always are very volatile over the weekend. So from today to tomorrow could be different. From Friday to Monday could be very different. So very interesting, very interesting. Prince John's Mirror. There's another card that a lot of people want in their Emerald decks that are going to be selling for as low as $2.75 with $1.27 shipping by BGC cards. I think the card's good. I don't think it's bad, but I don't know if you need 4 of them. I don't know how this is going to really play into the meta. There's plenty of item removal in Lorcana now, so I don't know how I feel about playing that card in particular. The Library, a gift for Bell, very important card this format. I think A+ cards has you for 85 cents with $1.27 shipping for the Library. This card's interesting, dude. It's a 3-cost inkable location with 8 willpower, and whenever a character is banished here, you may draw a card. So you can set this up. It only has 1 move cost, so it's very easy to like manipulate in your favor if you need to do some challenges. I think this card sees play no matter what this format. I want to play the combination of this and Castle and Ruby Amethyst, actually. Maybe that's why Jimbo Hawkins is going up a little bit in price, too, because you could just play the Library with it, and you have a potential plus off of that Jimbo Hawkins.
I mean, there's always some merit to being able to play like a rush character and challenging it and basically crashing to both characters, for example. And you draw a card when it's banished. It doesn't matter how it's banished. So cards like Turnabout's Followers and the Magic Broom, the Illuminary Keeper, those will get you extra cards too. To be very honest with you, Kevin, this card is very good for Amethyst decks. It will kind
Oh
of
yeah.
see its way. It will see its way in potential aggro decks too, because it's honestly something that you can play if you find yourself having to deal with a bunch of character removal. You can combat that by playing more locations and cheaper ones.
That's true. It does make your opponent have to challenge them. It's a pretty cheap location. It looks like it might be a staple in Amethyst decks. And speaking of staples, we're going to go over some more legendary, some more just meta staples you might need for your decks. Even though we're heading into Shimmering Skies format, I think a lot of these cards are still going to be very relevant. Lowest verified for Beast is going to be $43 now. Mechanicsburg Games. Look at these prices coming down, bro. Which tends to happen at the end of every format. At the end of this happens every time, guys. Every time there's a set change, a lot of the good cards, they come down from like $60 to $40, and then the meta starts establishing and people realize, hey, Sad Beast is actually like very important to have in your deck. So then the prices start going back up again. So around $45, $43 Mechanicsburg Games, lowest verified 4-year Sad Beast Tragic Heroes. And look at the cold foils maintaining their price. Love to see it. Mechanicsburg, $75. After that, Big Mom Empire, $79, $72, almost $80 for this cold foil beast. I feel like they kind of peaked at like $99 at one point, so it's not too bad of a difference if you just have them as your playset. Rapunzel, gifted with healing. Lowest verified is going to be $40.28. We have totally CGC for a little bit cheaper if you want a little bit of a discount, $38.99 for your Rapunzels. Let's check out these cold foils. Cold foil Rapunzels are going to be as low as $67.81, a little bit cheaper than what I've seen them before recently. IRL Cards has you for less than $70 for a cold foil Rapunzel. Like you just finished saying, Zach, like everyone's going to be playing Daisy Duck and Amber if you're playing Amber, and I think Amber's going to be very popular. So usually when you play Amber, you're probably playing Rapunzel as well, which is very important. So I think that's why that price has been kind of going up a little bit. Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, these are still $35 by Mechanicsburg Games, lowest verified. After that though, they're already hitting 37. Mavericks, $36.97 shipping included. Kivim, $37 shipping included, right on the dot. So not necessarily $40 yet, but definitely more than 35. And the cold foils are going to be $44 by TBS Comics. What is it? Florida. Very interesting. I think Robin Hood's still going to be very relevant in the format. I don't know, Zach. Do you think this because it's like a Medusa target, but this card's insanely powerful.
Yeah,
I think it's the shift. I think it's the shift capability.
I'm gonna say honestly, it's the ability to challenge and gain lore that I think is very like underrated and not talked about a lot, because that is like a decision that you have to make with characters. So a challenge or do a quest. Well, you don't really get punished for not for questing with this, because challenging gives you the lore anyway. And I've always felt like that's a very, very strong like mechanic. During the first chapter, we had Taka, the Heartless, which we'll never see play, I believe, ever again.
You were on Taka, dude. I remember you were a Taka believer.
I definitely enjoyed playing Taka, and my opponents were saying, "Why is that in your deck?" And I'm like, "Okay, let me just start swinging and gaining lore, and you'll see why." So this is this obviously kind of power prep that. Being a 5 cost also will make sense too with cards like A Whole New World, Grab Your Sword, and many other 5 cost songs. I'm just not I'm not convinced that this card's kicked out of the format yet. So it's good to see that that card's a little up there. And the card that I don't know if it's kicked out of the format or not, but Diablo Devoted Herald is a $30 card, which is very, good to see, I would say. But there is that point where, if you've been having these cards for a while, you're seeing these prices now, you won't be too happy, and that's okay, because this card is never going to be bad. The reason why it stayed $30 for right now is because there is some anticipation that Lemon Lime Song will be a very deck to I would say beat or play against the hyper aggro deck. So you're still looking at cold foils being around $42. So I mean, Kevin, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I like Diablo. I think it's here to stay. Whenever I build Emerald decks, for Diablo automatically added. It's a draw card for Emerald, and there's not that many draw cards in Lorcana, so I think you really have to appreciate them, and low-key, I think you have to abuse them. That's why I'm a strong believer of Ruby Amethyst, because, and I've said it every format, Ruby Amethyst is the best deck because it abuses Rabbit. the most. And I think Rabbit is the best card in Lorcana because of the way it lets you draw cards. And you know, Diablo has that potential too. Like, I've won so many games in testing lately where I just slap a Diablo on turn 2. They don't draw that out until turn 7, and it's too late. I've generated so much value, and like, evasive characters are a little problematic in Lorcana. There's a reason why that Christmas deck last format was $30, but it was like spanking like Bucky decks, and it's because evasives are really hard. And it's out in Lorcana. You can have a pretty strong evasive strategy, and that's the thing about Diablo that makes it very annoying and very powerful, is that like, you have to have very specific outs to it, and when your opponent starts dropping Diablo after Diablo, like, it becomes unfair if you can't match their energy, for lack of a better term. You know, but and then Emerald's just getting even more draw power this turn, this set with you know, Clarabelle, and it's cool because Diablo's stack. You can play 2 Diablo. I don't know. I like the card a lot. There's like a lot of utility in being able to shift this card on turns like 2 and 3, especially now that we have like Daisy Duck. You know, you can shift Diablo and start using like 3-cost songs like Strength of a Raging Fire or the Storm Rage on if you need to. So again, there's just a lot of utility with this card. I think it does a lot. It does like 3 different things. It shifts, it draws, and it has evasive. Like, it's so important. I don't know. I love this card. I think it's so good. Ursa Deceiver of All is another card I think is very good. Only it's as low as $20. Zach Stone. Look at this. Mavericks has you for $20.83, shipping included. Very cheap. Very cheap. This card, again, like, it's very broken. It just has to be played with a specific strategy, but I think if you can like commit and execute those strategies, then you can abuse it. Video games, etc., has you for low as verified near mint, $29.94. And like I was talking about abusing the draw power in Lorcana, my favorite play is to use this with friends on the other side, and you draw 4 cards. I think that's insane. I think it's so good. And now that we don't have Bucky, but then we have a Diablo format, I don't know. I like this card a lot. A lot of high potential. I think this format. Don't sleep on Ursa Deceiver of All. Fishbone Quill. More meta staples. Lowest verified $8.19 by R&R Games for your non-foil Fishbone Quills. Less than $10 I think is nice. You know, you're gonna be mad that you don't have this card when it's more than $10 again this format, like it is every format. And the cold foils are gonna be close to $20. IRL cards $18.75. Do you got Fishbone Quills foil, Zach?
I did just recently pick some up from a fellow Goon. Shoutouts to you. So, you know, and honestly, guys, I didn't snag these up in a post in our Discord server, so I always plug it in, but make sure to get in our Discord. It's very, you know, a lot of these cards that we're talking about today, especially the not the ones from the new set, but all these cards have been, you know, had conversations about them in our servers and in all of our text channels. So get involved and join. We'll have our link in bio, and Jim Hawkins right now is riding the RLS legacy to get in our server too, and he's getting up there. I mean, this card was slinging around $5-6 for weeks, even leading up to the DLCs in Chicago and Fort Worth, and now we're starting to see an uptick in Jim. You know, we love our boy Jimbo. I do remember Kevin preaching this card, saying that it's going to change the format. This card says for free twice, and cards like that usually have you know, a place to stay. But honestly, it's been one of those cards that has started really high and went really low. So
Yeah.
what do you feel about it now?
I mean, just like you said, it was really high and it came really low, which is why we were starting off with all these other cards at the beginning that could potentially do the same thing. So I learned my lesson by buying foil Jims for like $30 each, and now they're let's see how much cold foil Jimbos are right now. Ooh, $13. So you can see where my money went for that one. But I think it's a great card. I still think it's a great card. I don't think like it'll be like not necessarily unplayable, but I don't think it'll be like non-meta forever. Especially now, like I just said, we're getting more and more cool locations like the library. So I think it has potential. I can see why it's going up in price because there's a little bit of hype. Hades Infernal Schemer. I like this card in Sapphire coming up in this format. I like the removal in it. R&R Games has you for $8, so it's less than $10 for this legendary Hades. Lets you remove any card. Cold foils are still pretty expensive though. Near mints are going to be $30.75 by Sodalicious. That's very interesting. Cold foil legendaries from the first chapter. Nobody plays Hades, but this is still a $30 cold foil. Love to see that. The reason I like Hades right now is because we have this new Donald Duck in this set where it lets you basically one jump ahead for free, so you're able to play an extra ink from the top of your deck into your pile exerted, so you're able to go from 5 to 7, which is nice. And I feel like that it gives reason, in my opinion, to play a card like Hades and Sapphire again. Maleficent biding your time. Check this out, Zach. Lowest verified is 521 with 78 cents shipping. $6 for this non-foil rare from set 1, and plenty of people buying them in pairs, 4 for $5, 2 for $5 each. Very interesting, man. Hyper aggro, dude. Very hyped. Very hyped. This card alongside Lilo, going up in price this week from the first chapter. Lowest verified for Lilo right now is 248 by Poli Carrillo TCG, but after that, they're already hitting $5. We have Enchanted Card Realm. They're 435 with 127. They have 6 of them for you though, but they're already $5 basically. Core TCG has you for $5.99 shipping included, so almost $6 very soon. These little rares from the first chapter, dude. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that aggro deck is definitely going to be the deck to expect, especially right now in the first coming week of Shimmering Skies. Lilos and Maleficents are both in those decks as a 4 of, but I think you and I can remember how expensive these cards were from the very beginning. So,
oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
$20 Lilos. Remember when Lilos were $20, my goons? If you can't believe it, if you weren't playing from the first chapter, shout out all the Lorcana goons that have been here since we've been doing this. We were looking at Lilos from $20 all the way to almost $6. Very interesting. Flynn Rider over here coming down in price a little bit. No longer in that like $6-7 mark. $458 with a 127 shipping by Lorcana Prime. These are some more cards that are kind of coming down in price recently. We have Maui, Hero to All, not necessarily $15 plus anymore. Lowest verified is now $13.68 by In-House Games, which by the way, I do think you still very much want to play these cards. I don't know about Flynn, but Maui for sure is going to help you remove cards like Library. Queen's Castle coming down in price, no longer $15. MTG Cards and Games has you for $11.15. They have 5 of them for you too, so you can get like a playset of Queen's Castles for a little bit of a discount if you want from them, so that's really nice. Sisu is also kind of coming down in price just a little bit. These were definitely more than $5 at the peak of the DLC time frame and the set champs time frame, and now they're $3.99 with $1.27 shipping. So there's some pretty good more staples or more cards you might want to consider adding to your collection, to your deck, that have just kind of been coming down in price. And last but not least, I do want to go over the promo Prince John that you can get from the new Disney Lorcana Villainous expansion. They give you a promo Prince John card, and it's selling for $40. 2 of them sold for $40, and lowest verified is going to be $38.985 by Card Trader 9. Look at this Prince John, Zach. He's sucking his thumb. He's sleeping with his bags, man. Prince John is a real goon. He's literally sleeping with the gold.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very cool thing that they did. I know it's the artwork based off the villainous aspect, and that is a board game that Ravensburger, proudly makes some designs. So, if you guys are just huge fans of the Disney IP itself, get your hands on that board game. Get yourself a copy of these for the collection. I hope they do more like this, honestly, because I kind of like it. And he's honestly one of my favorite villains. But yeah, is there a favorite villain that you have, Kevin?
Favorite villain. You know what? Maleficent has been growing on me since playing Lorcana. But in terms of like actual movies, I don't know. I would really need to like look into like the I think Scar's pretty much up there. I think he's probably like one of the most like ferocious villains from the Disney universe. And now I'm thinking of like all the Disney movies. So or I think Randall from Monsters Inc. It's Randall, right? That's his name, the freaking chameleon monster. Yeah, that guy's evil too. Alongside the crab from Monsters Inc. I forgot that guy's name. Why, Mr. Waternose? Yeah, that guy. Oh, those guys are evil. Those guys are really evil. So those might be like my top villains personally, but if you guys are interested in pulling any of these villains from your packs, not the ones I name right now, but some of the ones you saw from the market watch, be sure to pick up Shimmering Skies, dropping today, Friday, when you watch this video. I'm really excited, my goons. Bless the pulls. Please drop your spicy deck lists in our Discord if you're gonna join it. Look out for us at D23. Zach and I are gonna be there. My boy Aiden's gonna be there too. We're gonna be out for this collection. If you guys are gonna be camping out for this collection, please stay safe. Please keep an eye out for each other. Make sure to keep the community strong and whatnot. It is an exclusive set, and we know what it's that there's a lot of value to it. But at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all Lumineers, and we we all want to just play the game we love. So, you know, just keep that in mind when going through the motions of D23 weekend and the release of Shimmering Skies, because it can be a little stressful. And once again, thanks again for Lorcana for letting me teach people how to play Lorcana, man. You don't know how much it's meant to me. It was freaking awesome. I don't want to get too emotional, but this was an amazing experience, and I hope to do more. So if you guys can, go like the post and stuff, because I'm sure they would appreciate it. But yeah, man, until then, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons. Zach, do you want to say anything before we sign off?
You know, make sure, guys, to check out pristineprotectiontcg.com and use promo code Goons10 for that 10% off your order. It does support the channel, like Kevin mentioned earlier. And honestly, these sleeves are amazing. They've lasted me for, you know, an event and a whole month after for locals. So honestly, get your order in. They are a little sold out on some of the colors, so act fast while supplies last.
All right, we'll see you goons next time.